MLB Power Rankings Week 19. Is there a new top team in the AL? What's going on with the Yankees? Whatever it is, their nosedive has been good news for the Astros, who this week surpassed the Bronx Bombers as our top team in the American League. Meanwhile, the Mets continue to outshine the Yankees in New York, though the Dodgers remain the top dog in the National League and all of baseball as we hit mid-August. Will it stay this way down the stretch? Our expert panel has combined to rank every team in baseball based on a combination of what we've seen so far and what we already knew going into the 162-game marathon that is a full baseball season. We also asked ESPN MLB experts David Schoenfield, Bradford Doolittle, Jesse Rogers, June Lee and Alden Gonzalez to weigh in with an observation for all 30 teams. 1. Los Angeles Dodgers. Record 81-35. Previous ranking 1. The Dodgers boast the best winning percentage and the best run differential in the sport, but they are not devoid of issues. Their starting rotation is deep, but also full of questions, with Walker Buehler set for season-ending elbow surgery and Clayton Kershaw still rehabbing a back injury. And the ninth inning is unsettled. Craig Kimbrell blew a save opportunity in extra innings in Milwaukee on Tuesday, bringing his ERA to 4.57, his whip to 1.55 and his strikeout percentage to a career-low 29.5%. He recovered just barely while closing out a one-run game on Wednesday, but his overall performance has been a concern. Gonzalez. 2. Houston Astros. Record 76-43. Previous ranking 4. Remember when it seemed like Alex Bregman was having a down season? That was less than 2 months ago. Through June 19, Bregman was hitting .218, .337, .373 with 7 homers and 30 RBIs in 64 games. Since then, Bregman has mashed to the tune of .315, .404. 556 with 9 homers and 36 RBIs in 49 games. This is nothing new for Bregman, who has typically gathered momentum the deeper we get into a season. For his career, Bregman has in .841 ops before the All-Star break and .931 after it. His 2 best months have been August .995 and September .889. As good as Bregman has been since his slow start, the best might be yet to come. Doolittle. 3. New York Mets. Record 76-42. Previous ranking 2. Right when Mets fans were starting to feel good about things, they lost 13-1 and 5-0 in the first 2 games of their 4-game series against the Braves and saw Carlos Carrasco go down with lat strain. He should be out 3 to 4 weeks on Monday. Then Taijuan Walker leave Tuesday's game after 2 innings with back spasms. Carrasco had been 5-0 with the 1.69 ERA over his previous 5 starts. The early exits exposed the lack of depth at the bottom of the Mets pitching. Jay Alvarez made his first major league appearance since 2015 in relief of Walker, and suddenly that sizable lead against the Braves doesn't look so safe. David Peterson should replace Carrasco in the rotation, and if Walker has to miss time, it'll be Trevor Williams. Schoenfield. 4. New York Yankees. Record 73-45. Previous ranking 3. The scuffling Yankees continued to scuffle, with players like Aaron Hicks, Josh Donaldson, whose walk-off grand slam Wednesday was a much-needed exception, and Gleyber Torres all struggling at the plate. New York is also trying to find consistency at the back end of its bullpen, with Clay Holmes getting hit hard and now going on the injured list, and with manager Aaron Boone looking toward Aroldis Chapman and Scott Effross as potential solutions for late-inning relief. The injuries are piling up too, between Holmes, Giancarlo Stanton and Matt Carpenter. Lee. 5. Atlanta Braves. Record 72-47. Previous ranking 5. The big news was the 8-year, $72 million extension for Michael Harris to just 70 win games into his major league career. The deal includes team options for 2031 and 2032 and now gives the Braves an incredible long-term core of Austin Riley signed through 2033. Harris 2032, Matt Olson 2030, Ronald Acuna Jr. 2028 and Ozzie Albies 2027. Harris has been worth 2.9 WAR in those 71 games, or about 6 wins over a full season. His defense and base running give him a high floor, and so far pitchers haven't figured out how to exploit his aggressive tendencies at the plate. 10 walks, 65 strikeouts, 41% chase rate. If he learns to take a few walks, and he's just 21 years old, Harris has a chance to become one of the best all-around players in the game. Schoenfield. 6. St. Louis Cardinals. Record, 65-51. Previous ranking, 6. A series win over Milwaukee kept St. Louis in front of its division rivals, where it'll likely be for the rest of the season. Other than a weekend series against the Braves, the Cardinals' schedule won't allow them to hit the skids for more than a game or two here or there. St. Louis does need to improve on the road as a big test is coming in Chicago, where the Cardinals play a 5-game series next week. The Cubs usually don't lay down against their arch-rival. Rogers. 7. San Diego Padres. Record, 66-54. Previous ranking, 8. The Padres were dealt an unimaginable blow on Friday when Fernando Tatis Jr. was handed an 80-game suspension after testing positive for a performance-enhancing substance. Tatis was in the final stages of his recovery from a wrist injury, and the Padres were starting to dream about a devastating lineup trio of Tatis, Manny Machado and Juan Soto. No more. Instead, Ha-Seong Kim will continue to get everyday playing time at shortstop, where he is providing premium defense but can't come close to matching Tatis's impact offensively. Gonzalez. 8. Philadelphia Phillies. Record, 65-52. Previous ranking, 9. Bryce Harper took 60 swings on the field Monday as he looks to return from his broken thumb. And while the Phillies haven't announced a specific rehab schedule yet, President of Baseball Operations Dave Dombrowski told MLB Network that a September 1 return is a realistic goal. Harper's elbow ligament injury suffered before the broken thumb will still limit him to DH duties. Meanwhile, the Phillies continue to play well, other than getting shut out in back-to-back games against the Mets, dropping them to 4-11 against them. They'll get their final crack against New York in the regular season with 4 games this weekend, including a Saturday doubleheader. Schoenfield. 9. Toronto Blue Jays. Record, 62-54. Previous ranking, 7. The Blue Jays haven't been able to take advantage of the recent slide in the Bronx. Interim manager John Schneider slid shortstop Bo Bichette down to 7th in the batting order, the lowest the former top prospect has ever started in a big league game. Bichette's struggles this season encapsulate so much of Toronto's season, sky-high expectations that, so far, haven't been met. Lee. 10. Seattle Mariners. Record, 65-54. Previous ranking, 12. The easy part of the Mariners' schedule didn't get off to a great start as they lost 2 of 3 in Texas, but they responded with back-to-back big 9th innings against the Angels. On Monday, a ridiculous series of Angels mishaps on defense led to 4 runs and a 6-2 victory. Carlos Santana's walk on a 2-2 pitch also helped. On Tuesday, the Mariners broke open a 3-2 lead with 5 runs, including Julio Rodriguez's first home run since returning from the Illinois. The bullpen continues to dominate, and since the All-Star break, Seattle's top 7 relievers all have an ERA of 3.00 or lower. You can add Chris Flexen to that group as well, as he will pitch out of the bullpen as the team elected to keep George Kirby in the rotation. Schoenfield. 11. Tampa Bay Rays. Record, 62-54. Previous ranking, 10. Tampa Bay is leaning heavily on its pitching staff to carry the team, with Drew Rasmussen providing the recent highlight by taking a perfect game into the 9th inning on Sunday. The offenses eagerly are awaiting the returns of Wander Franco, Harold Ramirez and Manuel Margot from injury as the offense needs some help, with several players hitting below the Mendoza line. Lead 12. Milwaukee Brewers. Record 62-54. Previous ranking 11. A terrible week at the plate sank Milwaukee's chances of moving back past the Cardinals. The Brewers scored just 7 runs in a 3-game series loss to St. Louis, finishing with a .177 batting average and .511 OPS over a 7-day period ending Tuesday. Only the Yankees had a worse batting average over that span. Rowdy Tellez has been fined, slugging .667 in August, while becoming as dangerous as anyone in the lineup. Rogers. 13. Cleveland Guardians. Record 63-55. Previous ranking 15. Cleveland fans might have noticed an interesting thing in our most recent edition of Awards Watch. That is, Andres Giménez was very close to overtaking Jose Ramirez on the Axe leaderboard listed in that update. Then Giménez went out and hit a clutch 3-run homer to beat Detroit in the first game of a doubleheader on Monday and added a 2-run shot in Game 2. Thus Giménez has surpassed Ramirez in the Axe system as the most valuable Guardian this season. Clutch homers are a big part of it. According to Fangraphs, Giménez's 6 homers in high-leverage spots this season are more than any other hitter in the big leagues. His 17 high-leverage runs created are 5 more than any other hitter. In other words, Giménez is having a special season, and it just keeps getting better. Doolittle. 14. Minnesota Twins. Record 61-55. Previous ranking 13. The Twins have been treading water for 2 months now. The pattern was good enough to keep them atop the AL Central for the most part, until all of a sudden the Guardians and White Sox started stringing together some wins. Minnesota might rue its inability to create separation in the division when it had a chance, but there is no time for that now. Instead, the Twins have to right their ship for the stretch run, and fast. To do that, Minnesota must find answers to a run prevention unit that has been in a backpedal since early July. A beginning would be to get new closer Jorge Lopez going. Lopez has been just okay since he was acquired from Baltimore at the trade deadline, and the Twins need more than that, as late-inning option Emilio Pagan has been unreliable. Pagan has allowed a .684 OPS in low-leverage spots, but when the more crucial high-leverage situations have arisen, that OPS has ballooned to .900. Doolittle. 15. Baltimore Orioles. Record 61-56. Previous ranking 14. Baltimore subtracted at the trade deadline, but is still hanging in the wild card race. General Manager Mike Elias hinted at top prospect Gunnar Henderson potentially making his major league debut at some point in the near future. Henderson is having a monster season in the minor leagues, hitting .301, .423, .546 with 18 homers between AA and AAA. Between Henderson and catcher Adley Rutschman, the future is becoming the present in Baltimore. Lee. 16. San Francisco Giants. Record 59-58. Previous ranking 16. Perhaps the Giants are trending toward a late run at a playoff spot. The team that famously did not trade Carlos Rodon has captured 8 wins in its last 11 games. 7 of those wins, however, have come against teams that are way out of postseason contention. The Dodgers, a team the Giants have struggled mightily against this season, could provide some major help. LA has 4 games remaining against the Brewers and 9 games remaining against the Padres, the 2 main teams the Giants are chasing for the final wild-card spot in the National League. Gonzalez. 17. Chicago White Sox. Record 61-57. Previous ranking 17. For all the ups and the more frequent downs the White Sox have put their fans through during this disappointing season, Chicago reached the middle of August playing its best baseball of the season. With the Twins taking a step back from their early season success and the Guardians matching the White Sox step for step, The AL Central is set up for a rollicking three-team race to the finish over the last 6 weeks of the season. The matter might well be decided with head-to-head encounters, beginning with Chicago's 3-game series in Cleveland this weekend. The White Sox have another series against the Guardians in September, as well as 3 remaining series against Minnesota. All told, a third of the White Sox's remaining games are against their key division rivals. Doolittle. 18. Boston Red Sox. Record, 59-59. Previous ranking, 18. Boston received a boost from Michael Wacha's return from the injured list after he allowed 1 walk and 2 hits over 7 shutout innings in a 3-0 victory over the Yankees. Tommy Pham has also been a big boost for the lineup from the leadoff spot since coming to the team from Cincinnati, hitting .281, .305, .526 with 3 homers in his first 13 games. Lead. 19. Texas Rangers. Record, 52-65. Previous ranking, 19. Firing manager Chris Woodward was anything but shocking after the Rangers continued to underachieve with him as their leader. The Rangers did one better on Wednesday, dismissing team president John Daniels as well. No one was expecting Texas to run away with the AL West or even easily earn a playoff berth, but there were too many non-competitive days from a team that can boast .500-ish talent. Add the off-season signings of Marcus Semien and Corey Seager, and the Rangers must have been thinking of 75-80 win season was realistic. It's not. Rogers. 20. Arizona Diamondbacks. Record, 54-63. Previous ranking, 20. Christian Walker, mentioned in trade rumors leading up to the August 2 deadline, has been one of the sport's hottest hitters this month, batting .362, .424, .759 to lift his season ops to .805. The 31-year-old first baseman is controllable through the 2024 season. If he stays, he'll join a lineup featuring Ketel Marte and a promising young outfield to go along with what has proved to be a decent starting rotation. The D-backs have a long way to go to catch up to the Dodgers and Padres and perhaps also the Giants, but they have nonetheless made strides since last year's 110-loss season. And they might be a few pieces from making things interesting as soon as next year. Gonzalez. 21. Chicago Cubs. Record, 49-67. Previous ranking, 24. There might have been question marks about his ability to stay healthy entering the season, but they might have overshadowed the fact that shortstop Nico Hoerner is a winning player and a really good hitter. Hoerner had an ops over 1.100 last week, while seeing his batting average vault over .300. He's a throwback, using the whole field while providing just enough pop to keep the opponent honest. Rogers